All right, guys, so let's go over support settings and how do you get supports that come off easily for quick finishing. Well, Flexera base is a little bit different than Smile. So these are right off of the printer, so they're still kind of wet with resin. Base in its current formulation is a little bit more flexible, see, than Smile, which is very rigid. So you have to treat them differently in the slicer settings, and you have to change the way that you add supports. But the first thing is, people always ask, when do you peel supports? Well, I usually peel them right when I get them out of the printer, just like that. And then I will go ahead and wash. And one reason why I like to do that is because number one is I'm able to fit more into my wash unit, but number two is these supports carry a lot of residual resin, and that resin sometimes will get into your alcohol and make your alcohol become exhausted faster. So the base, we'll go through the settings in the software, and we'll talk about what you need to do to be able to get the supports to remove easily. For Smile, it's definitely different. The supports are stronger. It's a very hard material. So we actually like to make the support smaller and more dense, greater density of supports, but these should still be to the point where they're easy to remove without any kind of instrument and without breaking your actual teeth. So it's, supports are one of the dirty secrets of 3D printing. People have spent a lot of time trying to figure out the best settings to use, and then sometimes the software updates and changes all that. So I've been getting a lot of calls lately about what settings do I use. But I always print my denture teeth with the supports on the incisal and nothing on the fitting surface. And I try to avoid supports in the tooth sockets as best as I can, so that right out of the printer, everything fits together beautifully, and we do not have to grind on teeth to get things to seat or in sockets to get things to seat. So I'll post my settings. So this will then go into the wash unit for the appropriate amount of time, and then we will bond the teeth together.
Okay, so for Flexera base, the support settings for the basic settings are tip diameter of 0.6, support thickness 1.4, support spacing 2. For advanced settings, it's shown here. I typically run with these, but on a well-calibrated, well-maintained machine. If you're sloppy with your machine and you have old vats, you can't run stuff like this. Base settings, I always run a base plate for increased bed adhesion. For Flexera Smile, you could see the settings here. The tip diameter goes down along with the thickness. And if you do that, though, you need to increase the density of supports by going to edit support points and manually clicking to add some more supports. This is the density I typically run with. The supports are not touching, but there's very little space between them. And that always leads to a very good print for me. And then, of course, we get the advanced settings here if you want to jot those down. But again, I think the most important thing is just hitting the Edit Supports button and adding some more support points here. If you're going to go with a tiny needle-like support tip like I do, you should be prepared for a possibility of print failure. I don't experience that because I know where to add those supports. Anyway, I hope this helps, guys.